Hello and welcome to Bakerstreet.coasters, where today I'm going to tell you guys some things I found at Chessington World of Adventures, which I found really horrible. Starting off with the discounts. Now, Merlin discount on the bottles that they give you. So there's your slush refill bottles that they give you is quite tall. And you can buy them anywhere in any Merlin theme park, and then you have to pay to refund them. Now they do two types of refills for these slush bottles. Firstly, they do the slush bottles which are from them, so they have the normal slushies, and then you have and then you have the slush bottles which are Coca-Cola, Fanta flavoured. Now, with both of them at Alton Towers, you can get Merlin discount. Now at Chessington, there is you have to pay £4.80 for it because you can't get Merlin discount on the Coca-Cola ones or the Fanta ones, which I find really concerning because I would have thought that it's owned by Merlin, so clearly they would have. Oh, I'm Chappers and Fans on YouTube. Hello, I didn't realise. So yeah, like I said, it's really concerning how you can't get Merlin discount for that. Now, another thing which really was disappointing about the park was the lack of advertisement on their TVs. Now, if we look at the likes of Fort Park and Legoland, or not even Legoland, Alton Towers have recently got two new TVs in their queue lines for Rita, and they use that for the ride safety checks, the ride instructions. You look at Fort Park and everything is literally every single TV is on, and they're always advertising something good. For example, Hyperia queue line literally has Hyperia advertised everywhere on their TVs. You've got Nemesis Inferno, which all of their TVs are on, and they're advertising Nemesis. And you've also got stuff like Tidal Wave. I don't know if Tidal Wave have some. And then you've got Stealth will do the load instructions, such as the one at Alton Towers with Rita, because they're both the same ride, and both of them are misunderstood with what you can and can't take on, such as glasses. There's such a persistent thing, and handbags and stuff in pockets. So, glasses and handbags are such a persistent thing, especially on launch coasters such as Stealth and Rita. Now, by saying that, they do really upkeep their rides. When you look at Chessington World of Adventures, for example, you're far from it. And I don't understand what their investment issue is with their TVs. They've got TVs in the queue line for Vampire, they've got TVs in the queue line for Dragon's Fury, Jumanji, I don't think they have any, I don't know. And they've also got some in the queue for the Gruffalo, and none of the queue TVs are working. Now, I mean, I have seen them work before, and that was last year, so I don't know what's wrong with them this year, but if they've got weather damage, it'll be really cool to see them get replaced, like Fort Park have done, and they've literally just put flat screens in, and I'm there just well, if they are protected, and they are safe, and they are upkept, then would you really want to put them on? I'm pretty sure you would want to advertise other rides, or Merlin passes, for example. That's a very crucial thing they've been doing. Their new attractions, I remember Room and the Broom getting advertised on some of them, but nowadays they just don't advertise, and I'm there just really? Is this the way to go, Merlin? I mean, I get it's to take up the feedback on, this is the energy usage, but yet again, it's just not one of those things which really use up too much energy, so I don't get why they should turn off the TVs or not maintain them. I mean, they're there for a reason. They need to be kept up. If they're not kept up, you lose a lot of interest in the queue line, because when you look at the queue line theming, you've really got nothing there. So you look at the Vampire, and the Vampire the Vampire queue line hasn't been rethemed at all. Yes, they may have done the station recently, but apart from that, the queue line around is absolutely atrocious. You have broken stuff, you have broken chess pieces, you just have stuff everywhere. It's just very disorganised. When you look at the queue line for Gruffalo, I can tell you now, that is a very confusing queue line too. You've got 2 arrows going, queue line for ride access pass and queue line for disability pass or something like that. And I'm there just right, where's our main entrance? So it's really concerning, and I don't like how disorganised their queue line is. Now, the next thing I have to tell you is Room on the Broom. It's such an awful ride. It's such an awful walk-through attraction. I'm not sure. But if they did something new with that attraction, it'd be quite cool. We had Hocus Pocus before that. But, Room on the Broom, it's an IP. It's very much close to Zog at Warwick Castle, and there's Zog also at Chessington. You've got Room on the Broom, and then you've also got the Gruffalo, so it's very much close, and it's Julia Donaldson, I think, made all that. So yeah, it is one of those things. You've got Elmo in the park, which again is another IP, but I don't get where the money's going for the IPs. I mean, I get it's to keep it up, keep the ride, but I'm not sure. Like, it would be really cool to see the TVs back on in the queues. Now, Mandrill Mayhem. Is one of those rides which I found really, really bumpy at the back end of the ride. So the one that goes furthest up on the spike before you actually go around the big helix. Now, one thing about that is when it goes through the station first, it's like really, really bumpy. It hurts your back. I'm not quite sure why this is, but you know, it happens. It's like a rattle, and you see it on most new roller coasters. So it'd be really cool to see them do something with that. Also, the track itself is looking really rusty, and I would have thought they would have painted it. It'd be really cool to see them paint it in winter season, but I don't think they will, because it's a new ride, and I'm there just like, they barely look after their old rides, so why would they look after the new ride? I'm not quite sure. If you look at the marks of Nemesis Reborn, that's still getting stuff added to it, and yeah, again, I know it's a bigger park, it's got bigger investment, but, you know, it would be really cool to see something like Chessington being, having more investment to it. And that also leads down to the question of what has happened to the rides this year. So I know that Mandrill Mayhem was the newest roller coaster to 2023, and it kept that way for quite a while. Until this year, we've got Nemesis Reborn, we've got Hyperia, and then we also have Minifigure Speedway. Now, Chessington was really left out on the park this year because it was like, oh, no new investment to the park. Oh, man. But yes, I get that they had Jumanji World last year and they had that huge IP. But at the same time, it really doesn't add up because I would have thought Merlin would have done them all at once. But instead, they did Chessington first and made it look like Chessington wasn't well known. And all I see this year in like when you go down to London, I've seen it in London. Basically, all they advertise is Chessington's Mandrill Mayhem, or they advertise other stuff like they advertise other stuff like Minifigure Speedway, battles all over Waterloo or Paddington, some of that. But yeah, again, it's one of those things which I think Chessington just really doesn't have the investment there. Yeah, again, going back to their ride maps which they have. Yeah, this thing. Where's the investment to this? And I've said this before. There's nothing on the back. When you look at the likes of... No, I don't think it's in there. But when you look at the likes of... Sorry about this. Get it? Voila, Nemesis Reborn. You've got stuff even on the back. When you look at the likes of Legolands, you got stuff on the back. So I'm not quite sure why and how, Chessingtons have turned out to be really, really rubbish. But the maps just need to be changed so much. And yes, I guess it's in London. Well, yeah, it's on the outskirts of London, and it is abiding by like the rules on reducing plastic and stuff like that. But yet again, I still think that Merlin should have put more investment into their maps, with their TVs, with their theming of the rides, with the aspect of how they come across. It's just not advertised anymore, and I don't get why. It's like I saw everything about Mandrill Mayhem. I barely see Mandrill Mayhem anymore. It's missed out on the part of the Merlin's new attraction list. With their new advert, and I'm not quite sure why that is. I just think that's really horrible, can't lie. I would much prefer... I mean, they did release their new advert, and that advert was really, really weird. Let me show you guys what I'm on about. Also, guys, if you do not want to please remember to subscribe. It would be very, very beneficial. But yeah, that advertisement was like really taking the nick out of this year. Something with Axel F. Was this it? No, that wasn't it. That's not it. Where is their new... looking for. I mean, I'm very much. I'm looking for the one particular post which I put on about their new advert this year. I can't find their new advert. How sad is this? Nah, their new advert isn't that old. I can't lie. I do remember them advertising it. Let's see. Chessington World of Adventures new advert. No, not the World of Jumanji. Even though that was a huge thing. Wait, was this it? No, that isn't their new advert. Don't think they have any advert on here. How sad. However, yeah, it was apart from just like you know, these people just flying in the air, like sitting and flying. And I'm there just like, how does this make any sense to Chessington? People taking Nick out of it and started going, oh, Axel F. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. Yeah, that was the things I hated about Chessington. Really, really awful. And you know, oh, even the vampire needs to get retracked. Just get rid of that ride. Just retrack it, please. It'll be so much more beneficial for everyone. Anyways, please remember to subscribe. Smile always, guys. And one thing I did like is that they have rethemed the whole entire station. The lighting inside the vampire queue. The Monkey Springer went down. We had Dragon's Fury, it went down at one point. I mean, Dragon Fury always goes down. Mandrill Mayhem is still awful with its without its virtual queue. But yet again, I like it without its virtual queue because you can access it whenever you want. You don't need to book times. But yet again, there's just a lot of there's a lot of people, and because it's only one car, it's just the loading times are so high sometimes. But it is what it is. Anyways, please remember to subscribe. Smile always. Not with it today, guys. But yes, bye, guys.